Get ready with me using new Asian makeup. First, we're going to start off with the Florasis Flawless Jade Natural Radiance Longwear Cushion Foundation in N20 Shimmering Lotus. So I got this as a Christmas gift. Wait a minute, before I put that on, I'm going to put on my base just in the T-zone area though, because I want to see, or I want to show you how the cushion foundation performs on its own. I wore it once yesterday. I'm not sure how I feel about it. So I have heard really good things about this foundation and it has really good reviews online. I think there's two different formulations of this particular line, Flawless Jade. So we have the Natural Radiance, which is the one I have in my hand right now. And this one is supposedly catered towards more oily skin. The other one is Flawless Matte. But anyway, I would say upon first impressions, it is a very full coverage foundation, as you can see. And I would classify the formula as, I don't know, maybe like semi-matte. Because it's honestly not giving super dewy whatsoever. It's definitely like a thicker formulation, as you can see. And don't worry, it oxidizes a little bit after drying down. So I know it looks like it doesn't really match my face now, but after it oxidizes, I find that the shade match is actually quite decent. Okay, I cannot stand these thin little pads that come with most cushions, so I'm just gonna switch to my Face Puff by Immortals. I know everyone is like going gaga over Momo's Workshop, I think that's what it's called right now, which is a Chinese brand that's like recently going viral for making this style of a huge puff, but Immortals did it first as long as I'm concerned, okay? I will always be loyal to Immortals, and I am holding strong to my resolution, or whatever you want to call it, that I'm not going to cave and participate so easily in the glazing of a new brand or product just because it went viral on social media. Like, no. We have our own minds over here that we can use to formulate our own opinions. Thank you very much. Okay, this is just my usual heavy rotation eyebrow mascara to top it off. Okay, I think I did a really good job on my brows today. I've been trying to be careful lately to keep them a little bit on the thinner side. I feel like the 90s thin brow is kind of coming back, but with a modern twist. So we're not going to make them literal lines like they used to be in the 90s, but I think that thinner brow definitely suits me better. What else did I want to say? Oh, the foundation. So it has had a couple of minutes to settle down a bit. It looks pretty decent, like it's fine, but something that I noticed yesterday as well is that it's a little bit difficult to control the thickness of the foundation across my whole face. Like, you really have to be a little careful with this formula. Like, it's not one of those formulas that you can just willy-nilly slap onto your face and then blend it out for a few seconds. Since it's so full coverage, you have to be very intentional about like, okay, I'm doing one layer right now, starting on the right side of my face, and then if you want it to look even throughout your face, you have to really make sure that every single area is covered with the same amount of foundation, or else it's gonna look uneven. Because like I put on maybe 1.5 layers, but then when I would go over certain areas that already had foundation on it, it looked really like messed up. Like you could tell immediately which area of my face has a double layer of foundation and which area has a single layer. So yeah, you have to take your time to really like press it in to your face and make everything even. Okay, and then just for full transparency, another step that I almost always do, you guys have seen it before, but I will take this hairline finishing powder and I will put it over here where I kind of have like a bald spot. Well, maybe it's not a bald spot, but I just don't like the shape of my hairline there, so I'll put on like a little layer. And since this one is really dark and it picks up a lot of powder, I'm gonna go in with my old one, which is already kind of empty. See how there's like no more powder left except on the rim? And I use this to blend it out into like a lighter and more realistic looking hairline. Wait a minute. I just did like a facial mask an hour ago, so I feel like that's also a reason why you see how the powder is clinging to this line here. Yeah, that was the essence from my face mask. Just dry down. In order to break that up and make it not look so harsh and dark, I'm going to take a Q-tip and just like drag it in the direction that my hair grows along the part that I put the hair shadow or hair powder on. And yeah, I feel like it is helpful to include that part of my makeup routine, even though it's technically not makeup necessarily, but it's a good trick if you ever feel like your hairline is uneven or you want to fix the shape a little bit. In the same vein, I'm also challenging myself to oh my god, why is my throat so clogged? I'm challenging myself to do more nose contour this year. I think especially with the thinner brow and the fact that like my face is very flat. You see my profile, I don't have any prominent brow ridge or anything. If I really want to sell that Douyin makeup look, because that's the type of makeup that I typically like to do, if I really want to sell it and make it look like impactful, I realize that I do need to put a little bit of effort into creating a little bit of an illusion of 3D depth where there might not necessarily be any in real life. I mean, there is, like, if you see me in real life, you do see that obviously I have a bone structure, but since my face is so flat, it tends to get washed out in pictures, right? So I realize that it's important to do a little bit of that nose contouring, especially if I want to do an obviously Douyin looking makeup style, if that makes sense. So I'm going to use the Cezanne blend color shading in 02 Cool Tone, kind of like a mixture of these two. Again, I've only been doing this for a short while, so there's room for improvement still. I'm gonna do like that. And then the problem with me, okay, I don't think I have a huge nose or anything, but I feel like if I do like the 2 straight lines down that everyone does, I feel like it makes my nose look bigger and longer for some reason. And I think maybe it's the shape, like the fact that my nose kind of flares out like a bell at the end. So what I like to do is I like to actually, I don't like to do parallel lines. I will take it all the way in the shadow until I reach kind of like a V, or it doesn't have to make a V, but I will literally like cut it off right here. Like I'll cut it off a little bit above the top of the bulb here. Oh my god, I don't know nose terminology, but I will literally like artificially cut off the shadow here to prevent, oh my god. Is that like too much shadow? Okay, I need to blend a lot after this, but we're just making the shape now. So yeah, like I want to avoid at all costs the mistake of my nose actually looking longer for some reason after nose contour. So I'll cut it off here and then I'll do like a circle here, right? But instead of where you would intuitively place the shadow, I purposely make it like just a smidge higher, if that makes sense. So like down here, right? I'm actually shading in this entire bottom portion of my nose. Should have tapped my brush before I went in. And then I have this one spot here that drives me crazy. This spot, I don't know if you can see through the camera, but it just won't absorb the color the same as the rest of my skin. Like you can see it. I don't know, it's like a non-shaded part. Okay, the camera's not picking it up. Okay, so that's the nose shading. I'm still working out the kinks and trying to find what works best with my facial structure. Please feel free to give any tips if you have any, but you can see already like it looks a lot more defined, right? And I'm gonna end up putting highlight on the open areas that I didn't put powder on. But anyway, in the meantime, let's move on with eyeshadow. So okay, remember when I was kind of mildly mortified at my last company dinner when I went to use the restroom in the middle of the dinner and I saw my makeup and how harsh it was because it had been so long since I stepped outside that I forgot to take my makeup down a notch or two when doing my going out makeup for that night, right? Because I'm so used to doing heavy makeup for the camera that I forgot less is definitely more when it comes to in-person events. So after that experience, I decided that I wanted like a really quick, easy, just one swipe type of eyeshadow product that is barely there, but still like pretty enough so that I don't feel meh about putting on my makeup for going out, you know? Because I don't want to look like a clown, okay? I don't want to look overly done or overly heavy makeup. I do want to look as natural as possible when I go out with people. I think that's the whole point, right? Like I want to look very naturally fresh and all of that, but at the same time, I also love makeup. I love color. So I just told myself like if I came across a product that strikes that perfect balance between like Demure, but you can still tell that she's there for sure. If I go the route of doing my makeup so lightly that you can barely tell that I have any on, that would be super boring to me. and that would like take all the fun out of getting ready for me. So lo and behold, Instagram ads showed me the perfect product as I was scrolling one night, and that would be the new RMK, and that would be this baby right here, which is the RMK Lid Impression Liquid Eyeshadow, and this is from their new spring collection for 2026. When I saw this color, I knew I immediately had to get it because it is just the perfect like iridescent pink summery shade. Is obviously a very flushed Demure pink, but there's so many different like multicolored reflective micro glitters in there. There's like blue, gold, so it catches the light really beautifully. Sorry, I started rambling and couldn't concentrate because the construction outside my apartment is so noisy, but yeah, I have used enough RMK products throughout the years to know what to expect when it comes to their formulations. So I ordered this immediately upon sight. I didn't have to go into the counter or anything to try it on because I know that RMK has always consistently delivered when it comes to offering really like fun, beautiful, bright color stories and finishes while maintaining a very sophisticated adult like air to them or to the products. So for example, like I just mentioned, the glitters, the shimmers are always so finely milled and micro. You definitely get the shine and the glitter and the beautiful colors and whatnot, but the finish is so like subtle and demure that it just looks so adult and expensive. And so that's my very long-winded excuse for why I kind of sort of made an exception in my no buy policy for this year, because this is not a capricious purchase. Okay, well, maybe the lip gloss was, but we're gonna set this aside because yeah, I'm not quite as impressed with the lip gloss as I was with the eyeshadow, but this was definitely bought with a purpose in mind. Like I specifically wanted a product, my go-to eyeshadow for going out, you know? So yeah, let me put it on first. So yeah, let me just go ahead and put it on first. But yeah, I've gone through like several RMK liquid shadows before in the past, and I know for a fact that I'm gonna use this entire tube. So therefore, that's why I broke the little no buy rule temporarily. Oh my god, they are never going to stop doing construction around my apartment building. Like I have lost track of how long this has been going on. It's not just my apartment building that's the problem. It's this entire area. Like they're redoing everything. They're redoing the roads. I had to put in earplugs or else I cannot hear myself think. I'm gonna do my best to edit the sound later on when I edit this video so that you guys don't have to sit through all of the drilling and whatnot. But yeah, let me just go ahead and put on a second layer because this formula dries pretty quickly, so you have to be quick to blend it out. And obviously I'm just going to use my fingers. So it dries down to pretty much like a matte finish. And once it dries down, it is not budging whatsoever. Like I did a swatch on my hand the other day, and even as I was vigorously rubbing my finger against the dried patch of eyeshadow, it was not budging from the place where I applied it. So you can rest assured that this is not going to smudge. It's not going to melt off your face. Classic elite RMK formula. And again, I know for a fact that I'm going to use this until the tube is done. So that's why I went ahead and got it. But make no mistake, 2026 is still going to be, we're still keeping the theme of low consumerism, no buy, shop my stash, all of that good stuff for 2026. Because like my overall mood, it has still completely shifted, I feel, into the realm of I don't want to make any new necessary purchases. I'm sick of chasing after all the trends. I'm sick of like buying products just for the sake of virality. I'm so over it. But I just wanted to clarify that this was not one of those impulse purchases. This was very well thought through, and this like one swipe type of eyeshadow that I can wear every day out and about in particular is what I was looking for. Now, I was kind of on the look for this type of a really baby pink lip plumper type of gloss. In that sense, it was also like not an impulse purchase. I mean, I did kind of get it in order to get free shipping. Okay, so you got me. But yeah, it's true. I also was kind of specifically in the market for this type of a baby pink lip gloss. Actually, let me finish my eyes really quickly before I put that on. As you can see, the eyeshadow itself is already very glittery throughout. I could just leave it like this, but since we're here, we might as well layer on some more glitter. So this is the Can Make Lame Mania in number 2. I'm not confident that this is gonna stick actually. Ooh, okay. Because the eyeshadow dried down so matte, I feel like this Can Make glitter is not really sticking well on top. Yeah, it's like very flaky, but you see how it adds that huge amount of shine? Very, very glittery. Sorry, I just had to speed through a couple of my usual items because I want to focus on new makeup in this video. Oh, I forgot one thing. So in addition to shading my nose, I discovered a new trick. If you shade right underneath your bottom lip ever so slightly, it makes your lips look that much poutier. See? So it's going to be even more prevalent once I put my lip products on, but before that, I'm just going to quickly throw on some blush. So I'm going to use this New Ice Powerpuff Girls Souffle Blush. To be quite honest, I'm not the biggest fan of this blush formula. I find that it just kind of sits on the skin rather than melting in the way that, for example, the Can Make Cream Blush does. Can Make Cream Blush is still kind of like undefeated as far as really, really affordable Japanese or Asian drugstore blushes go. And you can see they're almost the same shade, but this one is just a little bit darker. So I feel like it fits the dusty rose tone that we're going for today. I find that I like to use a stippling brush to apply this because that makes it slightly easier to work the product into my skin. But when I use a finger to apply this blush though, I feel like it literally just slides around a lot on my skin. Like I can't get it to melt in. Definitely better with a brush, as you can see, although still not perfect. You see how it's applying kind of patchy? Like this side is fine, but this side, why did the blush just erase from this area? Yeah, I think for me, I really measure, I guess, like my rating or my approval of a product, not only on like the finish or the shade or whatever, but also on how easy or not is it to apply the product in a way that looks flattering. Because if you have to do a bunch of backflips and tricks just to get a product to apply correctly, it's like, is it really worth it though? No matter how good the finished product looks. If it takes too much hassle to apply in the first place, that's minus points as far as I'm concerned. Okay, but the blush actually looks pretty decent now. Definitely prefer to use a brush to apply this one. I'm going to put a tiny bit of highlight on my nose right here and the tip of my nose, but not the actual tip. Again, 2 millimeters above the actual tip to give the illusion of a shorter nose, even though, again, I still think it's weird. I'm still figuring out the nose contour mathematics of it all because I don't feel like I have a particularly huge nose to begin with, and yet, I don't know, I feel like I have to overcorrect so much from the jump in order to not make it look elongated or enlarged. I don't know why, I was just in the mood for this juicy highlighter today. It gives you that really wet, shimmering look, and I'm kind of into looking cyborg-esque these days. Okay, wow, this is a little more intense than I remembered, even. I just realized that I kind of defeated the purpose of the point of this Get Ready With Me, which was to create a really demure, everyday type of look, but whatever. That's the whole point of working from home, right? Okay, last but not least, I'm going to go ahead and try on this RMK Lip Luminizer in 02 Lilac Opal. Now, let me just get this on before I say anything. Third layer. You tell me, did this do anything super amazing to my lips? Or could I have just achieved the same result with Vaseline, basically? Okay, actually, I do see a little bit of the pink or the lilac tint shining through, but that's after putting on 3 layers, mind you. I'm still on the fence about this one. All those praises that you heard me just sing about the liquid eyeshadow, can't exactly say the same about this lip luminizer, because like, is it luminizing the way that it promises, or is it just giving Vaseline? I'm not sure. Like, it's cute. Okay, it feels super comfortable on the lips. I will mention that. It's like just the right consistency, not sticky, but still thick enough so that I feel like it's gonna stay on my lips. It's not gonna slide around. I feel like it's really strongly gripped onto my lips, you know? I don't have to worry about it sliding anywhere. I mean, it's cute for sure. I just thought it would be a little bit more glossy, and I didn't expect the glitters to be this sparse. Like, they're definitely there when you look closely, but they are so few and far between. It straight up just looks like clear gloss with a couple of silver sparkles in it. I'm so sorry. It's just throwing me for a loop because the color is so pretty in the tube. It's hard not to expect the world just from looking at the tube, right? But yeah, I don't know. The name is Lip Luminizer, so it's just not luminizing as much as I expected. Okay, I'm gonna put the tiniest bit of lip liner just to add some definition. I'm not trying to add color, I just want to add like a shape to my lips. You know what? I do like it. I just don't think it's worth like 3,000 something yen. It's very, very comfortable. And in the light, you can see it's a very pretty, subtle lilac. I just don't know if this was worth 3,500 something yen. How much did I pay? Oh wow, the eyeshadow was 3,800 yen plus tax. So this was like damn near 4,000 yen for a single eyeshadow. Still worth it though. Still worth it though, because I think it's undeniable how flattering that is. But yeah, 4,000 yen is steep for an eyeshadow. It's okay though, because I'm going to use the whole bottle. This lip luminizer though, this was 3,200 yen plus tax. So like 3,500 yen. Definitely not worth that much, I'm gonna have to say. I saw that Cam Make just recently came out with a few lip plumpers, and they have a pink shade like this. And I feel like that one would probably do pretty much the same thing as this one. Although, again, I really am impressed by how non-sticky this formula is while still managing to stick to your lips. And it's scentless. The Can Make one I purposely didn't purchase because, again, we're rejecting overconsumerism in this house this year. But I did swatch it on my hands at the counter, and that one was noticeably stickier than this formulation. But it's also like less than a third of the price. I think it can't be more than 800 yen. So I don't know, I can't make up my mind. Like, on the one hand, I do love the way it feels on my lips, and I like the way that it smooths out the wrinkles in my lips, but then on the other hand, I wasn't expecting it to be quite so sheer. I thought it would be like a little bit more pigmented. I expected the glitters to be more noticeable as well. You can barely see them. Which, again, it's fine. Like, I know it's deliberate because RMK is all about that adult, sophisticated subtlety. You know what? I'm sorry. This might just be my bias speaking. Being a longtime customer of RMK, maybe it's just halo effect, but the more I look at it, the more I do really enjoy this gloss. So I'm gonna keep using it. I think because I'm filming for YouTube right now and I'm looking at this through the camera's lens, maybe that's why it's falling a little flat with me. But I think once I start using this out in public, in real life, that's when it's gonna really hit the right spot, if you know what I mean. Like, I'm probably really going to be thankful for this the next time I'm out for an event or a dinner or something and I go to touch up my makeup in the restaurant's restroom. I think in that moment is when I will experience like my full appreciation for the subtlety of this gloss. I think it's going to look just right to me in that restaurant bathroom's lighting. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this Get Ready With Me, and I guess word on the street is that me and RMK are officially an item again. Could this be the start of my RMK renaissance? Well, no, it actually, RMK never left my makeup routine. Let's be real, I use their eyebrow powder every single day of my life. But yeah, I'm not even gonna lie, they have this like blue turquoise looking shade of the lip luminizer that I'm still thinking about, even after all of my mixed thoughts upon trying the lilac shade. So I don't know, let me know what you think. Do you think it's giving sophisticated, it's giving girl about town? Or do you think it's just giving like very basic, I could have just achieved this entire look with all drugstore products? Which side of the fence are you on? I will leave everything down below in the description box as usual, and I'll see you next time. Bye!